Hello everybody, my name is Kadian and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about world building. So world building is super important for any fictional, science fiction, fantasy novel. World building is what's going to make or break your novel. It's what's going to test you as a fiction writer. World building is definitely not easy, even though it sounds like an easy thing to do, just because there are so many things to think about when you're creating a new world from scratch. So what is world building exactly? World building is just like, the best way I could describe world building is everything about the world you are trying to create. I don't know if that's a really good definition, but it's like the fundamental building blocks of your world and everything together. So the things that you're going to consider when building your world, and when I say fundamental or basics building your world, it's exactly what it means. Everything down from the basics has to be thought out when you're building your world. For most people, they might want to start with, where is this world? Is it like a modern day America or a modern day Germany, modern day Russia? Whatever. Is it on the moon? Is it another planet? Is it another dimension? You want to start out with, where is this place? So you know where this place is now, and then your next step is to figuring out what makes it different, what makes it unique, who lives there, what kind of people live there, like are there aliens, are there humans, are there a mix between aliens and humans? Illumians? So figure out who lives there, what they look like, how they act, how the society is, what they eat, what is the politics like, what is the economy like, how do they get food, like what are the breakdown of society, what do they do every day, do they work, do they not work, how does this planet function as a whole. And you basically have to think about it in the way of our real society, like right now, right here, how everything is so complex and complicated. There are different wheels moving and turning. Like there's not just one thing that's going on in the entire planet. There's different levels of people. There's probably the blue collar workers, the white collar workers. Is there somebody else? Other workers, like different groups and different people come together to make the world run, or make the country run smoothly. So it's never just one person or one group. Maybe there's a group at the top, or some in the middle, or some at the bottom. Is there something valuable on this planet, and how is that value used? And you have to think about pretty much just every single aspect, like what language do they speak, how do they come to develop this language. And some things you may not have to go as in-depth into, but the more you know about your planet or your world, the more realistic it will be, and the more you'll be able to convey that world to the audience, which is what you want to do. So even small things, even little details can make your world seem real, can make your world seem more tangible, and that's what you're going for when you're building a world. The idea behind world building is that the reader should be able to imagine themselves in this world. They could see it as if they're there through their eyes, through reading your words. They can see it and feel it, and the only way they could see it is if you paint that very vivid picture of what the world is like. Painting a picture about your world is more than just explaining to people what's there. Oh, there's a building over there, there's a river over there, there's other places over there and there and there. It's more than just describing what you see, but in real life, you not just only see things, but you hear things, and you feel things, and you smell things. And that's going to be a big part of world building also. Instead of saying there's a river over yonder, You could just say you could hear the rushing of the water against the rocks or whatever. You can hear the river. Maybe you're by the beach and you could smell the saltiness of the sea. I don't know. Being able to break this down for the reader in terms of, you know, sight, smell, hearing it, and feeling things will make it feel so much more realistic to them. Will allow them to really immerse themselves in the story. The main gist of everything is that it has to be realistic. It has to be, you know, something that seems plausible. If you're writing like science fiction, dystopian, a lot of times fantasy, there's some sort of conflict in those worlds. So it's not utopia where everything and everybody agrees on everything and everybody's happy and floating on. At some point in time, something happened. Like in real life, there's always conflict in every single situation. Sure, we'd love to agree on everything and be all one kumbaya family when it comes to everything, but in real life it's not like that. In real life, you bring together a group of people and they all have their different opinions and they all react differently to different things, and that's what you also want to bring about in your story, to make it feel more realistic. Like everybody doesn't always agree on things. That's how conflicts start. An important part of world building is to also explain why things are happening. So this group of people is now invading this country or invading this world. Why are they invading this world now versus before? Like what makes now so important and why are they doing it? If you have been living in a world with you know, a dictator or some hostile leader, and now the people are deciding to revolt, what is the reason for them to now decide that this is the time for them to revolt and come up as one and try to take out this regime? What is the straw that breaks that caused them to be like, you know, we're tired of this now after 100 years, now is the time we're gonna do this. So explaining why things are happening and how they're happening is an important part of world building. Either way, this world needs to have an history, and this history needs to be believable. So you have to create the history of the world, maybe not from scratch, past years, how, you know, what events transpired and how those events caused the world, the actions and the steps that came together to move America, fictional America, from where it was to this that it is now. If it's like a better America or a dystopian type America, what actions transpired to make it become that way? You want to talk about the society of this world, the politics, the religion, the economy. Like, how does this world function? How they eat? What are they eating? Like, how do they live? How do they get clothes? Like, do they have electricity? Do they not have electricity? Like, how do they live and survive and breathe on this other planet? Like, you have to think about all of those things and all those steps. If there's a magic system in your world, then you have to describe what the rules are to this magic system, or what the rules are in your world, because every world, every society, they have rules that you have to follow, and there are consequences for breaking these rules. So you can't have a society where just anything goes and it won't feel realistic, it won't be believable, and people won't really grasp onto it because there's really no conflict here. You go back to your characters and you describe who they are and how does this world affect who they are now versus who they could have been, and so on. That's my bit about world building. If you have tips or anything that you'd like to add about world building, please leave it in the comment box down below. So since we're talking about world building, I'll talk a little bit about the world building in Sparks Fly. And Kalash is in another dimension / another realm where it's not very, very dissimilar from the current dimension, but there are also some stark differences. One difference is that it's set in more of an archaic time where there's like no electricity, there's not a lot of modern day things that that we have right now, like fans or heaters and lights and machines and cars and that kind of stuff. Pretty much in Kalashnia there has been a leader, and we call him the Dark King, who has been ruling for pretty much all his life, since he was a young boy until now. He's like an old man, and he's been ruling, and over time, as the story explains, he went from just like an annoying leader to a very destructive leader who's like a tyrant to the people. Reason for him doing like killing people and stealing their food and, you know, persecuting them and oppressing them is just because over time he has developed sort of like a paranoia that everybody's against him. Everything now has to be about him and to make his life better and about his well-being, and so it spiraled off of that. Not that he intended to be this villain, but without even noticing as time goes by, just out of pure selfishness and greed and paranoia, he becomes this villain, and these are the things that he's doing now. He's oppressing people, but they people that are there now, they feel weak. They don't know what to do to get him out, but they need him out. They need to have a better life, a better future for their kids, and they just don't know how to take that step to get him away from them and from their lives. So there's a prophecy that says ninth child of the Gallagher's son would bear a savior that will come to this land, and defeat the Dark King and end his rule and reign of terror and free the people so that they can live their lives. And it's time now. The savior is 16, portal opens. The savior is actually in our modern day world now because her father, who was in Kalashnia, had to escape an attack from the Dark King and escape through a portal to come to our modern day world to sort of like live and have his children without being killed by the Dark King. That's where she was born. That's where she grew up, in modern day Colorado. Woo! Modern day Colorado. So now she's 16. Her father told her over the years that this is, where I was. This is the life I've lived. This is who you are, and this is your purpose. And she's like, yes, this is my purpose. She has fully bought into the idea that she's the savior and she's gonna have to defeat this Dark King, and she's been training her entire life to do this. She's 16. Portal opens for her to be transported to Kalashnia and save the people, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say for that on sort of like world building kind of phase. Because then, after that, all hell breaks loose, and then that's like a bunch of spoilers. Yeah, so that's like the history of Kalashnia and the world. They have different plants and different animals from what we have in the real world. They have a lot of colorful, vibrant plants, and they have very limited animals, like little to no animals at all, because of this great fire that sort of destroyed everything. And they live in sort of like except for the king, who lives in a really big place, most of the other people live in small little huts and maybe caves and stuff like that. I'm not gonna explain all the world to you because there's so much stuff going on, which is practically my point. That's what world building is. The language they speak and who they are and what they wear and how they dress and all of that stuff have to be considered when you're building a world. I hope this video was helpful in some ways to you and helping you build your world, even though it's sort of all over the place. Thank you guys for watching. My debut novel Sparks Fly is currently available in paperback and hardcover. You can buy a signed copy of Sparks Fly at KadianThomas.com, and I'll leave links to that in the description box down below. Currently have a Goodreads giveaway going on right now, ends July 29th. If you would like to receive a free copy of Sparks Fly, head over to Goodreads and enter that giveaway, and I'll leave links to that in the description box down below also, so you could find it quick and go check it out. Follow me on social media to see when I'm doing giveaways, to see my daily writing posts, writing advice. See you guys next time when I post a new video. Bye.